Hi, this is our group chapter 6 presentation on business markets and business buyer behavior. Let's get started right away with business markets.
Yeah, so in chapter 6, we're going to talking about the business markets and business buyer behavior. So first of all, we're talking about the business market. So the business market, basically, they are much bigger compared to the consumer markets. So first of all, we're talking about the structure and demand. So they have to deal with fewer but larger buyers, like they put many money in the business market. And the next thing is inelastic but fluctuating. So take an example, like when the cost of the items change, the demands will not change a lot. But if some things like the quality and the demands of the consumers change a lot in the demands. So it is because of the business demand is derived demand, which means they come from consumer demands. So next, we're talking about the nature of buyers. So first, it is more decision participants. So like many parts of the company will come in together to decide which they will buy and the quantity. So the financial, the products part, and many of them. The next thing is they have to deal with professional purchase effort. So the buyers now will have some expert in their teams. So take it like the technical experts and the top managers. So the companies have to have quality marketers to deal with them. Now, last but not least, the types of decisions. So more complex decisions because they have to deal with huge money, technical problems, economic considerations, and stuff. So longer and formalized because they have to deal with more paperwork and formal approval. Last, they are more dependent to each other, the suppliers and the companies. So many customer companies now are practicing suppliers development, which means they're creating network for suppliers partner methodically to assure a consistent supply of the items.
Now turn to business buyer behavior. Here are the major types of buying situation at a business. The first type is straight buy. This is when the business want to restock on the supply that they have bought several times before and they don't want to change anything about the order. The second type is a little bit similar to the first one, but this time they want to change something about the order, either on the price or on the features. This is a great chance for outside supplier to get their offer. And then next is when the business make the most decision. It's in new task. It's when the business want to buy something they've never bought before. And last is system selling. This is when the business want to go for an option that provides solutions to their complicated buying situation. Next, let's talk about the participants in the business buying process. Okay, so normally in a business, there will be something called a business center. This is like a team of people who make decision on what the business buy. And here are the 5 roles that participants in this center can be. Okay, the first is users. These are the people who are going to use the product that will be bought. And then the second type is the influencers. These people are going to give information on the product and also suggest alternatives. Next, it's come the buyer. These people are the one who are going to go out and buy. These people are going to choose suppliers and they're going to negotiate the price. And then comes the deciders. These people are they provide approval to the buyer's chosen supplier. And lastly are the gatekeepers. These people stay between the seller and the buyer and make sure that not too much information is given to either side. Now let's talk about the influences on these buying decisions of these business. Okay, the first factor is the environmental factor. For example, like the recession or the advancement of technology can cause these decisions to change accordingly. And then next is the organizational factor. These are like how the company is structured and how the company work overall. And then comes the interpersonal factors. For example, in a buying center, there might be an older person and people are more likely to be influenced by that person's decision because they believe that he is wise and seasoned. Okay, last is the individual factors. These are like personal characteristic and personal buying style. It might be different from participant to participants.
So moving on, we're going to talk about the actual business buyer decision process. And it all starts with problem recognition. It means when someone in the company recognizes a problem that can be addressed by acquiring a certain goods or services. So this often results from 2 sources of stimuli. The first one is internal stimuli, including the problems that emerge during business operation. The second one is external stimuli, the outside triggers coming from the market, the environment, or the competitors. So after having a need description, the buying organizations will need to develop something called product specifications. So this can be achieved by deciding on the best product characteristics and specify them accordingly. Also during this stage, marketers can actually suggest better solution that might turn into future business. When the problems is fully acknowledged, the buyers will need to come up with a general need description that describes the specific qualities they are looking for in the product. So in complex situation, they might need a whole team of engineers, users, and consultants to help them better define the products. And marketers can actually participate in this stage as well by providing information and help the buyers to better understand their needs.
Okay, the next stage of the process is the supplier research. It is a stage when the buyers or organization need to make a list or buy qualified vendors and suppliers. They can make this list by reviewing trade directories, doing online researches, or by phoning other companies for recommendations.
In the proposal solicitation stage, buyers will invite qualified suppliers to submit their proposals. Proposals can take many forms, from website references to promotional materials, salesperson calls, or even formal reports and presentations. This is a crucial step when marketers need to make their proposal stand out from the rest and inspire customers' confidence.
So the next part is supplier selection. The buyer reviews proposals and selects a supplier or suppliers. The buying center often will draw up a list of the desired supplier, attributes, and their relative importance. The next part is order routine specification. The buyer writes the final order with the chosen supplier, listing the technical specification, quantity need, expected time of delivery, return policies, and the vendor management. Inventory is an inventory management practice in which a supplier of goods, usually the manufacturer, is responsible for optimizing the inventory held by a distributor. The next part is a review. So the performance review is a periodic and systematic process whereby the job performance of an employee is documented and evaluated. And why is it important? It gives both individuals insight into the employee's current performance, identities area where they can improve or upskill.
So next, we're talking about the digital engagement. So social media has changed the face of business-to-business buying and marketing progress. So first, we're going to buying online. So nowadays, the buyer can conduct reverse auctions, which means they're posting their request online and wait for the suppliers and other companies to bid it. And it can also engage in online trading exchange, which means they can boost up their trading progress a lot more. So the benefits of them is to lower the cost and make the buyers more productive for the suppliers as well as the customers. But going to the drawbacks, it can erode decades old and consumer suppliers relationships. So next, we're talking about the business-to-business digital and social media marketing. So first, because of the rapidly growing, so it's become the standard procedures for most companies today. And then companies start to use a wide range of digital and social media in marketing. So comparing to the traditional media and sales approach, the digital and social media can create a greater customer engagement with the idea of targeting seniors who affect the company's budgets. So next is about they will get more control and access to the modern information as the new digital approach facilitate anytime and anywhere connections between a wide range of people. So a commonly mistakenly assume, which means that social media is only useful for consumer market, but when we're targeting the seniors who affect the company budgets, it can create a huge benefits for our business.
Institutional market. What is it? An institutional market is a consumer market composed of large buyers who tend to purchase in a volume quantities to provide goods and services to people in their care. Some example of institutional market is schools, hospital, nursing home, prison, and many others. These markets can be extensive and are often characterized by low budgets. So, for example, hospital patients have little choice but to eat whatever food the hospital supplies. However, instead of providing bad quality food, hospital purchasing agent must search for institutional food vendors whose quality meets or exceeds a certain minimum standard, because patients receiving poor quality food will complain to others and damage the hospital reputation.
In addition to the institution market, in most countries, government organizations are major buyers of goods and services. Their annual spending can reach trillions of dollars, like in the US. So the government usually awards the contract to the lowest bid, with some exceptions of the reputable outstanding suppliers. However, it is also influenced by other non-economic factors, like favoring depressed business areas, small business firms, minority-owned firms, etc. So what differentiates the government from other types of buyers is that all the transactions are subject to public scrutiny, so this often involves significantly more documentations and paperwork, which can be quite time-consuming. And since government spending is determined by the elected officials, companies sometimes may not gain any additional benefits by focusing on marketing. So what they should do instead is try to bring down the cost and still maintaining service quality. So in addition to that, suppliers should also check the guidelines on how to sell to government, which can be often found on the government's website or at government's offices. Another thing to note is a great deal of government's buying process has gone online, and this is going to save a whole lot of time for both sides, the buyers and the sellers.